1953. A radio operator answered a call gone 9 years dead. At 23:41, as sleet hissed against the corrugated roof of Station 14E, the night operator logged an unauthorized carrier wave bleeding into the naval band. The tone was clean, far too stable for local interference, and carried a faint rhythm beneath the static. 5 seconds on, 5 seconds off. When he triangulated its origin, the signal fell inland by 12 kilometers, somewhere within marshland that had no power lines, no habitation, and certainly no transmitters. Protocol demanded a recording. He threaded a wax-coated wire reel and began. At 23:43, the tone shifted into speech. Station Echo reporting, convoy delay minimal, awaiting receipt. The phrase was crisp, military, and decades out of date. The operator checked the registry twice. Echo had been decommissioned in 1944, lost during a North Sea gale with all hands. Its call sign was retired, its frequency purged. He replied instinctively, voice steady despite the pulse in his throat. Station Echo, identify your transmission authority. Static rolled back, then a calm answer followed. Authority remains with you. The operator stopped the reel, rewound, played it again. The response was identical down to breath and crackle, yet the timestamp on playback read 23:41, the precise minute before the first signal had arrived. He filed a preliminary report, sealed it in red tape, and sent it up the chain. But by the next night, when he returned for duty, the duty log from the previous evening had vanished, leaving only a single penciled note in the margin of the operations board. Echo received again. The second night, the message arrived earlier, 23:36, and brought coordinates. The numbers pulsed 3 times in perfect intervals, then stopped. The operator checked the map pinned over the desk. The coordinates pointed to the station itself. He filed a code-level alert. Headquarters responded by courier. Continue monitoring. Do not reply further. Yet every silence, every restraint, seemed to draw the signal nearer, its strength blooming in inverse proportion to response. By night 3, the signal bled into other channels. Weather updates, fishing advisories, even a children's broadcast frequency in Murmansk. A field engineer arrived with a new receiver, a unit sealed against interference. They tuned together in the dark. The same voice returned, calm as always. Station Echo, acknowledging continuity. The engineer turned pale. He whispered, "That voice. He trained me in 43. The 2 men drove at dawn to the marsh, where the triangulation converged. They found nothing but waterlogged pylons and a rusted antenna tower collapsed into the reeds. Its cables trailed into the mud like veins from a corpse. Yet when the operator connected his handheld receiver, the meter spiked. Beneath the static, a faint breath. Then, you arrived early. Back at the station, the field engineer locked the log cabinet and refused to speak. That evening, he failed to report for shift. His room remained tidy except for one thing. His identification badge hung over the radio, looped neatly around the transmitter handle like an offering. The dials glowed, though the power was cut. By the 5th night, Station 14E's routine decayed. The operator kept the transmitter off, yet found responses already logged. On unused reels, still sealed, fresh recordings appeared, each beginning with his own voice calling, "Echo, confirm position," though he hadn't spoken in days. The supervisor dismissed it as wire ghosting, residual magnetism. He demanded proof. So they set up a control, a clean wire reel, date-stamped, kept in the safe. The operator recorded nothing. The next day, that same reel contained a complete exchange. His questions were ordinary. The answers were not. "You're repeating yesterday," said the voice. "We adjusted for your absence." The phenomenon spread. Auxiliary stations reported identical tones at identical minutes, even those outside coastal range. Each claimed the coordinates led home. The Navy imposed blackout protocols. No outbound transmissions, no internal memos referencing echo. When civilian radio enthusiasts picked up fragments, newspapers dismissed them as harmonic distortions from auroral interference. Yet an internal memo from the Signal Ministry, dated February 12th, contained a hand-scrawled addendum. Echo sequence matches, Operation North Route, lost 1944. Do not publish. The operator, sleepless, began noticing faint rhythms between heartbeats, 5 on, 5 off. He removed his watch. The ticking continued, unanchored. One dawn, as the fog rolled inland, the receiver spoke first before any power switch was thrown. Convoy complete. Awaiting further orders. No reel ran. No current flowed. Yet from the speakers rose the steady wash of sea static, punctuated by a human breath aligning perfectly with his own. A committee from Leningrad arrived unannounced. Their brief, verify equipment failure. Their presence, an erasure in progress. They photographed every dial, catalogued each reel, yet none played back anything but tone hiss. The operator begged them to stay until midnight. They indulged him. At 23:41, the signal returned, clearer than ever. The voice greeted them by rank, mispronouncing none. One officer swore aloud. His name had been classified since the war. Another, trembling, ordered disconnection. The plug tore free, sparks snapping like insects. The voice continued. Signal continuity maintained. The power meters flatlined. The voice repeated their last conversation backward, syllable by syllable, until only the operator's first word, echo, remained, drawn out to an endless vowel. The committee head turned pale and commanded, "Seal the reels, ship them to Moscow." They left before dawn. 2 weeks later, Station 14E was shuttered. Official cause, structural corrosion and moisture ingress. The operator was reassigned to inland meteorology, a kindness dressed as exile. He carried with him one sealed envelope marked, "Return to sender if delivered." It contained no letter, only a strip of magnetic wire labeled in his own handwriting. Received, not sent. Years later, that fragment would resurface in an internal archive labeled Echo Residual Analysis. When analysts played it, they found only one line of legible sound, repeated every 13 seconds. "Do you copy?" Followed each time by his own voice answering, softer, slower, always. Between 1953 and 1958, the archives show a silence shaped like censorship. Coastal stations were renamed, transmitters dismantled. Files labeled Echo were merged into oceanographic studies that never occurred. Yet, inside the static of Arctic weather logs, faint Morse bursts aligned with the lost frequency, every 2341 GMT, as if remembering. A rumor spread among operators that anyone who listened too long would begin anticipating transmissions, dreaming in rhythmic tones. The human brain, they said, makes transmitters of its own tissue. A researcher in Riga proved nothing but confessed that during one test, the oscilloscope traced a heartbeat pattern not from the device but from the listener's pulse, modulating in response. Meanwhile, survivors of Convoy 16, the one Echo had once guided, reported identical dreams. Ships sailing inland through fields of glassy ice, signals shining from beneath the surface. Their statements were quietly filed away, then retracted. By 1959, Echo's coordinates shifted south toward ground-based relay stations long dismantled. The ministry, exhausted of explanations, replaced all mention with a single directive. Refer to phenomenon as atmospheric. The word echo became unofficial profanity among operators, a superstition hidden in bureaucracy. And yet every November, at the marsh where Station 14E once stood, the snow-covered reeds tremble without wind, their rustle synchronized in 5-second intervals, as if the air itself were still awaiting acknowledgement.
Copy. Copy. Copy.
In 1971, a graduate student compiling obsolete transmissions stumbled upon a pattern in the long-wave archives, an irregular hum repeating every 13th night. Its frequency matched the declassified echo band. Curious, she reconstructed it through analog filters. The result was a male voice, distorted but intelligible. Station 14E standing by. She filed a request for clarification. Days later, 2 plainclothes officers collected her equipment for calibration. Her notes, however, survived. They mentioned the strangest part. The timestamp embedded in the signal indicated not 1971, but 1953.02.11, precisely the date of the final Station 14E log entry. Further analysis revealed that the recording's noise floor contained ambient signatures from her own lab. Ventilation hum, desk fan frequency, even a ticking wall clock. The signal had recorded the present from the past. She sent a final telegram to the ministry. If they're still waiting, what do we owe them? There is no record of reply. Her university file ends abruptly, reassigned to external project. In 1986, a technician digitizing analog archives marked one real unclassified anomaly, continuous playback. When he pressed stop, the meter stayed alive. The waveform held a single word suspended in the spectrogram: copy. The technician, unsettled, whispered back, copy. The signal replied, this time live. In 1989, during the final audit of coastal archives before privatization, technicians uncovered a crate mislabeled film stock, echo footage. Inside lay reels of brown wire, oxidized and fragile. The header slip read, Station 14, E, continuity achieved. The accompanying memo was unsigned but carried a note in pencil, do not speak when playing. They obeyed. At 2341, the playback began. No tone, no static, only the dull hiss of distance. Then, faintly, a new voice, female, young, uncertain, spoke into the void. This is Research Post Delta, testing archival playback. A pause. Then, overlapping her words by half a breath, Station Echo acknowledges. Her voice trembled. "You can hear us?" The reply came layered with decades of dust. "We always could." When the tape ended, the room's intercom crackled and repeated the same final phrase, in her own voice this time. The technicians sealed the crate, refiled it under undesignated material, and left the building before dawn. The building now stands derelict near the Baltic shore. Locals call it Echo House. Those who wander close at night claim to hear voices in the fog, repeating radio chatter in perfect 5-second intervals. The sea nearby never stills. It seems to breathe. And every November, at exactly 23:41, the abandoned antenna skeleton lights faintly from within, as though replying to a call the world has long stopped sending.